and I'm Dean of the School of Professional Advancement. And I'm pleased to welcome you to this undergraduate admissions open house this evening. I'm just on at the beginning to say hello, and then I'll hand things off to my able colleagues. But wanted to say, just as a welcome to SoPA, that we're appreciative of you taking time to be with us this evening. We also think you're smart in looking at SoPA as an option for going back to school. We have an amazing academic community of diversity, support, relevance to the world, and a staff and a faculty who are completely focused on students and student success. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to be a student. And we look forward, I know my colleagues will say this as well, but we look forward to getting to know you during the admissions process. And with that, I will say goodbye and hand things over to my colleague, Sheila Gold.
Thanks, Suri. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. I always appreciate it when folks take time out of their evening to come and spend some time with us. We are here to answer any questions that you have about the admissions process. We'll talk a little bit about the school, just sort of a general overview of our undergraduate programs, a little information about our application process, and then we'll open it to questions. Of course, don't feel like you have to have a question. If you don't have any, it's okay. We put up my contact information at the end of the webinar, and you can email me at a future time. So this is meant to be low stress and just kind of casual conversation. If you do have a question and you want to take yourself off of mute, it's a small group. You could kind of jump on in that way too. So however you're most comfortable. So a little bit about our school. Tulane University as a university was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. It was actually founded in response to the yellow fever epidemic, and which hit the Gulf South in a really, really hard way. And ironically, here we are, fast forward, and we're in the middle of another pandemic. So what's old is new again. What is important for you all to sort of understand is that the university was founded in 1834, but the first iteration of what we now call SoPA, the School of Professional Advancement, was added to the university about 50 years after its founding, just shortly thereafter in 1886. And it was founded to have a commitment to adult learners. And we're still doing that today. The School of Professional Advancement is specifically designed for non-traditional and adult learners. So for folks who maybe are starting undergraduate a little bit later than the average 18-year-old, or have other life things that they're balancing, whether it be work or taking care of a family or other responsibilities. So it's all Tulane University, but we cater our classes and our faculty to working professionals. So SoPA has lots of different elements that we think make it special, and we hope that you certainly will too. We have years and years of experience in the online space. Lots of people became familiar with online learning when the pandemic hit, but actually SoPA had online courses way before that. We do an excellent job with online. We'll go to explain a little bit about that later, but we feel like our experience is exceptional, and we'll share a little bit about why. Our programs and our faculty, we feel like, are differentiators. Our faculty are experts in their field, and we feel like they have time for students to create relationships and to mentor them and to help them successfully complete their degree. We also have outstanding student support. Our students don't just get admitted to the school and then kind of left on their own to figure their way out. We have lots of student support to help students be successful. We don't just want to admit students, we also want to graduate students. So we're committed to helping you successfully get your degree. A little bit of a different point between the School of Professional Advancement and the rest of the university is that we are priced lower than the rest of the university. So students are pleasantly surprised at our price point and how affordable we are. Also, we have flexible scheduling so that students can take classes online or in the evening if they have commitments during the day. And then, of course, all of this is backed up by the Tulane degree and the fact that it's a top 40 university and that the degree is recognized nationally and helps open doors when it's time to get a job. So a little bit about online learning at SoPA. Our undergraduate classes can be taken in person and also online, but we like to talk a little bit about our online learning. Our online courses are designed to be interactive. So our students have small group work. They have classes like we're doing now over Zoom that meet frequently. They also have interactive simulations. They have discussion boards. They have opportunity to meet with classmates and with their professors and to get to create relationships. So it's not just sitting at home at night and clicking through a PowerPoint. You will get to create relationships with your classmates and with your professors, and you'll have interactive, engaging coursework and homework so that you'll feel like you're engaged in a much more in-depth way than you would possibly in other courses at other schools. So just some data, because we love to share data in higher ed. Tulane SoPA, as of right now, has educated over 14,000 students in online work. We have done over 30,000 hours of online coursework since 2018. We have all of our master's degrees at SoPA are designed to be online. A lot of our undergraduate coursework is, as well as graduate certificates, post-bac certificates. And what is also a differentiator for us is that we actually train our faculty how to be online instructors. So they're not like figuring it out as they go along. We actually do trainings with our faculty. And several of our programs have even actually won awards for online teaching. So our students have a very different experience in the online space than a lot of other places. So the degrees that we offer at SoPA are digital design, digital media and marketing, exercise science, general legal studies, health and wellness, homeland security studies, BA in humanities, which is a very broad-based degree, very kind of general, a BS in IT, information technology, a BA in public relations, and then a BA in social sciences, which is also a very broad-based degree. So social sciences are like sociology, psychology, political science. Humanities is like English and communications and history. That's what humanities generally are. So those are sort of your broader sort of less defined bachelor degrees within the list of degrees that we offer. So we also offer some undergraduate certificates. These are designed for folks who aren't quite sure if they want to go back to school to get a full degree and commit to that amount of time, but do want to go to school to take a few classes that will give you a specific skill set that might be helpful in the workforce. And these are the courses that we offer. Our post-baccalaureate certificates actually require that you already have a bachelor's degree. That's why they're post-baccalaureate. But you can come back and get expertise in these areas: early childhood and secondary ed, graphic design, health and wellness, homeland security, interactive design, paralegal studies. Our paralegal studies is actually ABA approved by the Bar Association, K through 12 special ed, and teaching English learners. And then we also have some professional certificates in accounting, advertising, applied business, digital media, human relations, human resources, public relations, and small business development. So a little bit about our faculty. What makes SoPA a little bit different than other schools, and I would say in some ways maybe even a little bit of a better option for many students, is that our professors are actually practitioners in their field. So these are folks who are current day professionals, but they also teach at our school. So they're very well connected to the curriculum they teach and also the profession that they're training their students to engage in upon graduation. So for instance, in our paralegal studies program, Patricia Betancourt is one of our faculty members, and she's a current lawyer. She's a litigator, and she really can teach students from her own experience. Bo Boudreau is an English teacher, is a writing teacher in our humanities program, but he's a poet. He's a published poet. Tyra Mitchell is in our health and wellness kinesiology program, and she's a physical therapist. And then Ralph Russo is one of our professors and program directors for our cybersecurity and IT program. And he has a background in cybersecurity and information technology. So these are all professionals in their field, and they're teaching from experience. They're not just teaching from a book. And we do feel like that gives our students a much richer experience in the classroom. So our student support, you may have talked to, friends of yours or had family members, or maybe even you've spent time at other schools, and you sort of get there and you run into an issue, or you're having, something happen in the classroom and you feel like there's nobody to talk to, or you can never find your advisor. SoPA does not offer that experience. SoPA has advisors who are incredibly accessible to their students. You could virtually meet with your advisor every day if you needed to. Not only do you have an academic advisor, but you have a faculty advisor as well. We also have our professors who are available to help students, as well as a myriad of other supports. We have writing support if you're having some issues with your writing and some papers that you have to turn in. We also have a network of professionals on campus that can help you if you have some learning differences and you need extended time in the classroom, or some special supports because of some other things that might be going on in the classroom. We also have a dedicated career advisor. So for our students who are getting to the point where they need to put their resume together or their LinkedIn page, we don't share our advisors or our career advisors with any other part of the school. They are just for SoPA students, and they are available to our students. Our career advisor is also, she frequently gets job postings from really around the country, but mostly around the city of New Orleans, and she will push those out to our current students, so they actually hear about current job postings before other people in the city. And so that's an advantage that our students have that lots of other students don't. So we also have a program called Credit for Prior Learning, and this is a really valuable program for lots of our students. So many of our students, like I mentioned, are non-traditional students. They may have some work experience and are coming back to school after many years. And some of the courses that you might be required to take for your major, you might already have experience from the workforce, and you might already have that knowledge. So instead of having to take a course in something that you have actually been doing professionally for years, you can do what we call credit for prior learning. You meet with your advisor and you say, look, I don't think I need to take a grant writing course. I've been a grant writer for 8 years, and they will ask you to demonstrate through what we call a portfolio process that you already have the knowledge that matches the learning objectives for that course, and they'll grade your portfolio. And if you've demonstrated that you already have the knowledge for that course, you do not have to take that course. So why this is really interesting is that for undergraduates, you can get up to 24 credits, which is a significant amount of credits for an undergraduate student. So that saves you multiple classes as well as a lot of tuition. So for our students, it's a savings of time and money that will help you get to graduation faster and also save you money. So let's talk a little bit about tuition. I had mentioned earlier that our price point is different than the rest of the university. So as of spring, as of this term, our current tuition rate is $576 per credit hour. All of our courses are 3 credit hours. So you can see that that is significantly lower than the rest of Tulane University. It's also important for you to know that we really don't assess a lot of fees on top of our tuition rate. That's a very important point for you all to think about as you're comparing Tulane to other schools. There are other schools, even within the city of New Orleans, that if you add their fees on top of their tuition rate, it almost doubles what you would pay. For us, that's not true. You pay your tuition and just a very nominal fee on top of our tuition rate. So we intentionally do that to keep our price point manageable. Even with that said, many of our students apply for financial aid. They apply for federal grants and loans. That's the FAFSA process. Definitely start filling out your FAFSA form early on in the admissions process. You don't want to save that for later in the admissions process. But on top of that, we offer several 20% discounts on tuition for different groups of students. So for instance, if you're active duty military, or if you're a K through 12 teacher or a New Orleans employee, a parish employee, you can get a 20% discount. If you're a Phi Theta Kappa member at a 2-year institution, you qualify for a 20% discount. And of course, as I mentioned, if you have some life experience that you can translate to credit for prior learning, that's also a way of saving money. So these are all different ways that we try to work with students to help make our tuition affordable. So some information about our application. Our application is online. You can find it on our website, which is sopa.tulane.edu. There's a button at the top that says apply. Just click the button and it'll open up your application portal. We do require that you have a current government ID. For most folks, that's just taking a picture of a driver's license or a passport and uploading it to your application. We will need transcripts from any institution that you have received college credit from. We also do have a $40 application fee, but we have taken attendance at this webinar. And as a thank you to you for attending the webinar, we will waive that $40 application fee. If you have already submitted your application and have paid that fee, just email me and I can refund it very easily. So don't pay that fee if you already have. We do not require any SAT scores. So students generally like to hear that. We do not require letters of recommendation. So our application is pretty straightforward for undergraduates, but if you have any questions, we always ask students to reach out to us, either send us an email or give us a call, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. So some application deadlines. Our application for summer is open now. Our summer term starts in May. The application deadline is May 1st, but I encourage you not to wait that long. Go ahead, fill out your application. We read applications on a rolling basis. So as soon as they're completed, we will evaluate your application and get you an admissions decision. Our application for fall is also open. That application deadline is August 1st, but once again, you don't have to wait that late. And then if you're really planning ahead to next spring, which is our January term, the application deadline is January 1. I do want to bring to your attention that we have some early enrollment scholarships, a $200 scholarship towards your first semester if you register for classes by the early deadline. So for summer, which is the next term that we're enrolling for, if you register for classes by April 25th, you'll get $200 for your first semester. The same thing goes for the fall. If you register for classes by June 1, you'll get $200 off your first semester. And if you are applying for next spring, you would need to register for classes by December 1st to get that $200. So that's a one-time $200, but every $200 is helpful. And we would love to be able to give you that discount off your first tuition bill. And it's as easy as just registering for classes by those early dates. So that's the basic information of the webinar. My contact information is right there on the screen. You can reach out and email me if you have any questions, but we're going to open up for questions. You all can drop in the chat box if you have a question, or you can just take yourself off of mute. And no pressure if you don't have questions, that's okay too. Yes, so you will receive, so tomorrow you should be getting a thank you email from me, and it will have a link to this webinar so you can watch it again. Very good question. Any other questions? My pleasure. All right. Well, we don't like to put people on the spot. That's not what we're trying to do. We do love to hear from our applicants though. So if you do have questions along the way, feel free to email me sgold@tulane.edu. And you can just ask me, any question that you have. We're happy to help. There's no question that's too big or too small. But more importantly, we look forward to receiving an application from you soon. And we certainly hope that we'll be welcoming you as a student to Tulane SoPA. So if there are no other questions, we will let you all go, but thank you for taking time out of your night. And once again, we certainly hope to hear from you all soon. Have a good night, everyone.